Sandy's method was sort of domineering and sometimes boisterous, always entertaining, but to many students, it even verged on being arrogant. But in fact, in the same way that Sandy manipulated actors on the set, I'm sure, Sandy was engaging with the students and he was hearing every breath of their response. So that Sandy's class would change at the moment any student asked a question, no matter how dumb. Sandy was the ultimate interactive audiovisual experience.
In general, what are these cards around the room? Tell us about that.
Well, that really is rather pathetic. I ought to apologize for it. I do, in fact, apologize to students for it. But one of the sadder aspects of being an instructor, I like to think of myself as an instructor rather humbly rather than as a teacher, is that you repeat yourself. I mean, if year after year new students arrive, you find yourself saying the same thing over and over again, and you get so bored with the sound of your own voice. Moreover, if you're bored with the sound of your own voice, students pick up on it. They know you're bored, and they're bored too. So, in a fit of desperation, I sort of suggested partly that students should, keep the things, the ideas that I put to them on paper to look back on. I also organized these sort of slogans. These are things that I found myself saying again and again and again and again, and I'm bored saying. So as a joke, I put them up there with numbers, and I say to come right here, why is the exposition unclear because you're lacking in a foil character? Why is the exposition boring because it isn't happening in the context of some present dramatic tension or crisis?
There would come a moment where he would discover something in a student's script in one of our group meetings and sort of pound his fist and point, and not even deign to read off the relevant postcard. And there you were left to say, movies first show, then tell, with great humiliation.
And we'd take the golf club and point it to the wall and say, read this aloud. So what is it? He always uses what is the seventh lesson on the wall?
What is lacking in tension is because the things that are happening now are interesting, but what is happening now is less interesting than what may or may not happen next. And these things, are things that I've said so many times, that in the course of around this table, a sort of heated argument on some issue, all I do is I behave like a football coach and yell out a number and say, look, here. And the student bitterly resents the sarcasm, but they're always up there, and, they sink in. They only sink in, and the penny drops, as we say, afterwards. They mean nothing when they are first explained. They mean something when they can be related to an immediate and specific problem in what the student is currently working on.